Chapter 4 A Magical Land. Delphie stared at the twinkling shoes and then leapt out of bed. She was about to run out of the room to get her mum when Madame Zaza's voice came back to her. "They are special shoes, Delphie. I hope that one day you'll find out just how special they are." Something seemed to be telling Delphie to stay, not to go. She reached out and touched the shoes. Her fingers seemed to spark with a tiny electric shock, and suddenly she felt as if she had to put them on. She picked up the left shoe. As she slipped it on, her foot felt light and sparkly. She put on the other shoe, and as she tied the ribbons, the tingling feeling spread through her whole body. Delphie stood up, and then gasped as suddenly the shoes began to make her pirouette round and round. Delphie whirled, her bedroom blurring into a sparkling haze of colours. She cried out, "What was happening?" Then the colours faded and she found herself on a seat. She looked around in astonishment. She was in a large, empty theatre. In front of her was an enormous stage with red curtains, shut tight. The lights began to go down, and before Delphie's eyes the curtains rose. A scene of a village street appeared with a large mountain behind. On the slope of the mountain a dark castle was painted. Feeling sure that she must be dreaming, Delphie looked at the stage. A fairy in a pale lilac tutu was sitting on a tree stump covering her face. Behind her there were dancers dressed as multicoloured flowers, 2 people in Russian costumes, a girl in a long red Spanish dress, and a clown. Delphie wondered if this was the beginning of some sort of show, but as she looked more closely, she realised the fairy was crying. Delphie got to her feet and went down the aisle that led up to the stage. "Hello," she called. Her voice sounded loud in the silence of the theatre. The fairy jumped in surprise. "Who are you?" "My name's Delphie," Delphie replied. "Who are you?" "I'm the Sugar Plum Fairy," she said. "You mean you're dancing the part of the Sugar Plum Fairy in the Nutcracker?" Delphie said, feeling confused. "No, I really am the Sugar Plum Fairy." The ballerina stood up, her sparkling tutu catching the lights on the stage. "People call me Sugar for short. This is the entrance to the land of Enchantia, the land where the characters from all the different ballets live." She looked curiously at Delphie. "Where have you come from?" From my bedroom," Delphie stammered. "My ballet shoes started to sparkle, so I put them on, and I ended up here." "You've got the magic ballet shoes," Sugar breathed. "I've heard about those. Ever so often, they are given to someone who really loves ballet, and they bring them to Enchantia. It happens whenever there's a problem here." Delphie stared at her. "Madame Zaza, the person who gave them to me, said they were special. She must have meant they were magic." Delphie's eyes widened. She looked around, wondering. "So this is all real? It's not a dream?" She remembered something the Sugar Plum Fairy had just said. "You said the shoes work when there's a problem." "Yes, and we have a very big problem right now. The people in Enchantia usually live very happily together and dance all day, but not anymore." Her blue eyes welled up with tears. "Evil King Rat has stopped everyone from dancing." "King Rat?" Delphie echoed, thinking back to the villain of the ballet she'd been reading about before she went to bed. Sugar nodded. "He hates dancing. He's captured the Nutcracker and turned him into a wooden toy. Without the magic of the Nutcracker, no one in Enchantia can dance. All the toys have become lifeless. The sweets have become just sweets again, and the snowflakes have frozen. I can't dance either. Look at this." She stood up, and with a graceful lift of her arms she rose onto her points, but she only managed to dance 3 steps before she wobbled over. "The magic of dance is gone. The only way to stop King Rat is to free the Nutcracker and bring him back to life again. But King Rat is keeping him prisoner in his castle, and everyone's too scared to go there." Delphie thought how awful it would be not to be able to dance. "I'll help you," she said eagerly. "It could be very dangerous," Sugar warned. "The castle is guarded by King Rat's army of mice. They're big and carry swords that are very fierce." "I don't care," said Delphie bravely. "I want to help you free the Nutcracker." "Oh, thank you," Sugar grabbed Delphie's hands. "Thank you so much." "So, how do we get to the castle?" Delphie asked. Sugar smiled. "By magic, of course.